So here we are recording. Welcome to our e-project. This, believe it or not, is week number 4. We are talking about how it takes a village to start a business. And so we're really thrilled to have 2 amazing speakers today. Amy Fredenberg, who has founded Twisted at the Wharf, which is a new pretzel shop. It's only open on the weekends right now, but if you get to the Wharf, please check it out. She will tell us a little more about it when she talks. And then our very own fearless leader, Jillian Copeland, who will also tell you about how she used her village to start Main Street. So without any further ado, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to kick it off with Amy talking. And so at this point, Jillian, I'm gonna have you manage the letting people in, and I'm gonna get going to sharing my screen. And let's see if we can make this happen. And let me move this. Sorry, guys. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so here, does everyone, let me see if I can get more people here. Just give me 1 second while I'm just resizing a little so that I can make sure that we see. There we go. I think we should be in a good spot now. So here is our first slide, and then I'm going to get us started to meet our entrepreneurs, which I just mentioned was Jillian and Amy. And actually, I forgot, we are going to start with Jillian today to get started. She's going to talk a little bit about how to think about your community and your village that you use. So Jillian, do you want to?
Sure, I'm ready to go, Sharon. Thank you so much. And I also just want to give a shout out to Amy. We're all inspired by Amy's work, and we were hoping to be down this summer at the Wharf to all have pretzels together and do some events down there. And so I don't think that's going to happen now, but we will table it and we will do it another day, right? But if you are down at the Wharf, please go to Twisted. If it's open, I think it's only on the weekends, but Amy will share with us. So so you guys know that, you know, I am the founder of Main Street, right? And I'm sure you've heard it several thousand times and you're not really interested in hearing it anymore. But maybe what I don't say that often, and I need to, is that many of you on the call right now, I'm thinking about John Bogaski and Mara and David and Katie and Nancy. Some of you have been really involved in Main Street from the very, very beginning. And if I didn't have a village around me of supporters and people to help, we really would not have a Main Street, right? Because we can't do anything by ourselves. I know you guys know, I didn't put it in here, and I probably should have, and I should have made this a little better, my slide, which I didn't. And I apologize, I got a little busy this week, but there's a Margaret Mead quote. Do you guys, anybody thumbs up if you know the Margaret Mead quote? Well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna actually send it to you after this, right? And I want you to look at it and read it and think about it, because it's really, it's about, you know, one person might have an idea, and it really only takes one person, right, with an idea, but then it takes pretty much a village to make it happen. And I love that we are a village. Main Street is a village, and Montgomery County is a village for a lot of us. And for Amy, DC may be part of your village too. And your support system is really critical in making things happen. Give me like sort of either a thumb up or a peace sign if you have a village around you right now. Let's see how mmany people have that. I'm just trying to look and go through. A village of people around you. Yeah. So most people do. Oh, thank you, Katie. I like your hand. That's cute. So most people have a village. It might be parents or kids or siblings, right? Your siblings. So for me, whenever I've had a great idea or what I thought was a great idea, I couldn't bring it to fruition. I couldn't make it happen without the people around me. So the first group of people right here are friends. So I went to my friends and said, hey guys, I'm starting up Main Street. This is what it is. And what are your skills, and what kind of time are you willing to give me? And will you support me, and will you help me? And they said, absolutely, which is great. And that's why they're my friends, because they're such fabulous people. The great thing about tapping into your friends is that you know, they have different friends too, right? And they have families. So when you ask your friends for help, ask your friends, hey, maybe your mom or your sister or your brother, or maybe your aunt or uncle or your friend might be interested in this product or this service or this idea. And so you always want to broaden your network and your horizons and expand people that you're already speaking to, because you never know who really might be interested in this. I mean, Sharon and I just had a call the other day with someone who's in the apartment industry. And Sharon thought, you know, I think it's a good idea to talk to her. And I said to Sharon, you know, I'm really busy and I think she's a lovely person, but I don't know if I have time to talk to her. And Sharon said, no, I think it'd be a really good time to talk to her. And, you know, we talked to her and she's going to add us to a podcast and she's going to promote our work. And it might even lead to more Main Streets. I mean, it could really be that incredible. So it's always good to share your idea with your friends and then ask them to share with their friends and their family too. And that brings me to the next piece, which is networks, right? So let me ask you guys another question, and you can give me a thumbs up or you can give me a peace sign or you can write it in the chat if you want. How many of you have some kind of platform, whether it's social media platform or you're in a listserv or you are in a support group of some sort, or you go to a gym and you're in a club? Can you show me anybody, like hands up? Or so networks are, thank you guys. Michelle, I see Elisa. Networks are a really good way to broadcast whatever message it is that you want to broadcast, right? And John says he's on multiple platforms, listservs, and social media. I'm on my neighborhood listserv, and like I'm going to post the Main Street ribbon cutting on that because I want everyone in my community here that lives here to see that. YMCA, that's a great one. Jonathan says Seek, and he has experience with Excel and other networks. That's great, Jonathan. So it's really important to think about, you have friends, right? You also have Facebook friends or people on Twitter, followers. If you have an idea, and thank you, Ulrich, for yours too. If you have an idea and you want to share something, or as we talked about in some of the beginning sessions, you want to kind of survey your market, this is your market, right? These are the people that you go to. You go to your friends, you put your ideas maybe on some networks, maybe not on all networks, but maybe some safer networks. And family, who uses their family for a lot of supports? Anybody? Because I know, I can tell you that if I'm into something, when I started the Diener School, and we would sit around and I would have mailings, you know, hundreds of letters and envelopes and things to mail. I would say to my kids on a Saturday, guess what? Guess what we're doing today? I need some help and I need you guys to sit around the table with me and we need to do this together. And, you know, luckily I'm from a family that, you know, we're all in, and that's really important and helpful. So remember, this goes both ways. So you want your family and your friends to help. It also means that if your family or your friends have an idea or two along the way, you need to be part of their support system too, right? This is, you know, there's a thing called karma out there that I'm a big believer in, right? We do for others and others do for us. And so if you ask people to please help, or, hey, I want you to help me assess this, evaluate this idea. Do you think this is a good product? Do you think people would buy this? Would you buy this? Do you think this is a needed service? Make sure that you show your gratitude for their time and their service and their energy too. Just because they're family and friends or your network of people, they still need, you know, some to share. You still need to share your gratitude. The next one I have is the larger community, right? And there you see that picture there of people telling people. And I think that's what I'm talking about with friends sharing with friends, or networks sharing with other people. Sometimes when I post things, you guys, like when Main Street posts an article that I think is really important, that I would really like a lot of people to read, I might put it on Facebook or one of my social media platforms, and I might email some of my friends to say, hey, if you would share this too, we could reach a broader audience. We could reach more people in our community. So that would be, you know, trying to expand again to reach different people who are interested in your product or your service. I have a question. Can you show me your hands, your thumb or something, and indicate to me if you were at our Flapjacks event last fall? Okay, a lot of people at Flapjacks. Okay, another show of hands in a second, and we are going to be talking about this soon, so you're not going to be muted the whole time. But can you show me, one sec, buddy. Can you show me a sign if you met someone new? If you met someone new at Flapjacks, anyone? Right? So for me, when you bring community together, and it might be Nancy's community, it might be Mara's community of people, it might be David's, then we can introduce our communities to each other, right? And that's another way of just building a bigger, broader audience for your product, your good, your service, whatever you're trying to share with people. And the last one for me is, and I maybe might just add one more, but is colleagues. And so it's people you work with. How many people have jobs here? How many people have a job? Yep. Are you raising? So if you have a job, you probably maybe don't work by yourself. Some of you might already be entrepreneurs or might be working from home, especially right now. But many of us have colleagues that we work with. And that's another way to kind of spread your word, right? Another way to say to your colleague, hey, Katie, I have this great idea. Would you maybe ask a couple of your friends if they like this idea, if they think it's a good idea? So use the people around you and try to be diverse in the audience that you're building, right? Because if you just go to the same people all the time, you're not going to branch out and find anybody new in community. So the last thing that I would say is that for me, because I am working at Main Street right now, some of the people that I am reaching out to are people on my board of directors. So lots of businesses and nonprofits have a board of directors. And those are people that I use as sort of they're on the board. So they help us make big decisions about Main Street and about the Diener School, but they also are there in an advisory capacity, which means that they're there to help us to make these big decisions that might be hard. It may be that we want to do a new website, and that's expensive. I might go to my board members and say, hey guys, we're thinking about doing this new website, but it's going to cost a couple $1,000s. What do you think? And I use them in that capacity too. So use your village and know who to ask for what. Know when maybe I'm going to ask my friends for this, but maybe I need some more expertise and people who really understand this and have skills to help me answer this question. So I'm going to ask my board of directors, or I'm going to ask my mom because my mom is a lawyer and she understands how to do this. So find your experts around you, build your network around you, your friends, your family, your community, your colleagues, anybody else who can be there to help you. And that will give you, I think, a little bit of a boost to start your business and maintain your business, by the way. So Sharon.
Jillian, yeah, do you mind if I just add one little thing? And guys, I'm sorry, I hope this is big enough. I was trying to make it a little bigger, but we are going to download the whole slide deck, but in particular, I separated this out so you can use this template. It's blank so that you can print it out and you can use this as a guide for your own to think about everything Jillian just said so that you can use it and have a tool for yourself. So I just wanted to make that clear. That this is actually for you to use as a guide.
Awesome. Thank you, Sharon.
Yeah, thank you, Jillian. That was awesome.
What is your skill set? Where do you have gaps? You talk to the family that is where you may need additional help.
I'm sorry, I missed that. I can't see actually who's talking.
Bevruz, is that you?
Yes.
Okay, can you ask a little louder and a little slower? I couldn't hear your question.
Sure. What does the word "where do you have gaps" means?
Oh, that's a good question. Where do you have gaps? What does where you have gaps mean?
Okay, so is this still me or is this up to Amy? I think this is Amy, Sharon.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay, so Amy, I'm gonna let you, I think this is your first slide, so why don't you take it away?
Great. Thank you very much. And it's really great to see all of you again. I'm so happy to see that you're coming back for these sessions every week, because it really is a great program that Main Street put together. So I'm excited to be a part of it. So I think I would start off by saying that everything that Jillian said is just so true, and it's across the board, no matter what it is you're trying to start, whether it's a business, a nonprofit, a club, a team, anything. You really need to, kind of think about how you're going to go about it, and what you're going to do to, get to your end result. And so, if you all remember, my husband and I, it was a little over a year ago. It was in April of 2019. We started talking about, what we wanted to do for both our son, who is 23 years old, and was, we were trying to think about employment for him, as well as an opportunity to give back to the community. And so what we decided we were going to do is that we were going to open this pretzel shop, which all of the items are, centered around, pretzel items like hot pretzels, sandwiches on pretzel rolls, hot dogs on pretzel buns. And we would have Kevin working there, as well as these internships rotating every 6 months that would give young adults the opportunity to get some job experience in the hospitality / food service / retail industry, where then we could help them build their resume and go out into the world and find longer term positions that way. So that's, just sort of a reminder of what we're doing. And as we started talking about this, the first thing we sat down and did and said, well, what's our skill set? What do we know how to do? And, what can we do to get started? And between the two of us, we had, I think, a lot of the, different aspects covered, because, my career was very different than, what my husband has been doing, for his entire career. I'm very experienced in human resources and recruiting and training and professional development. He's a lawyer who has a lot of experience with real estate and development and construction and things like that. So as we were talking through that, we realized that those are the things that, we pretty much had covered, and that we could focus on our own. But then we needed to identify where are our gaps and where do we need help. And just a couple examples there were, sort of doing the actual physical build out, actually doing the construction, obtaining and building a website, all of those technical skills. And things like, looking at what the menu is, looking at, what type of food we wanted to offer. And so those were areas that we needed a little bit more help and research with. And so when we asked, who can help in those areas? As a few examples, on the construction side, we have a friend who works at the same company as my husband, who's very involved with all of the construction. And what he did was, he completely helped us identify all the equipment we needed. He brought his team in to help do the build out. And it was really, something that we wouldn't have been able to do just the two of us. We needed this village, this network to help us out. And so that got us to the place where, the physical aspect of the, brick and mortar location was built. I mentioned, obtaining and building a website was not something that, we really, knew how to do on our own. And in talking to friends, as, Jillian pointed out, and talking to people and, talking to colleagues and friends, my husband has this friend who's a partner at a law firm in Virginia. And he said, you know what, I have this intern working for me this summer who's really great with technology. He can help you. And so it was really great because he took that on pro bono for us. And I had, this young lawyer who knew everything about, identifying the website, buying it, getting the domain. And then he even shared with me, and then if you want somebody to actually build it for you, here's a great website where you can figure out, who can help you on a contractual basis to on an hourly basis, help me actually build the website. And then, kind of going back to the day to day, this friend of ours who is on the construction side, he and his wife want to be involved because this is an area that's very important to them as well. And so they're actually there helping us with the interns, helping us, teach the team, what to do, and getting set up and actually running the store on the weekends right now. And so this is a large group of people where we wouldn't have been able to do it all on our own. And so I think it's really, really important to look at, what your skill set is, where do you have gaps, look to your friends and family, and then where do you need additional help? Because, I then went ahead and budgeted for building the website and a bookkeeper. We didn't have somebody who necessarily was going to, be able to, offer that skill for us. So we, have added a bookkeeper that, we pay, as, he works for us. And those are all things that you need to consider and think about as you're planning, and then get into your budget. So that team, we were able to develop our mission and get moving. I did want to mention social media a little bit, because that is a great way to take the marketing piece at little to no cost to the next level. And that was really important because everybody's on social media now, no matter, kind of what the platform is. But you have to really think through, what are the best platforms, and what are you going to keep up to date, and what is going to work best for you. So for right now, for us, we've got our website, which we will share the website address with you so you can check us out. And we also went with Instagram, because for me, Instagram was going to be the easiest for me to maintain. Twitter wasn't going to work for me because I felt like I would have to be updating that too much. You have to kind of do that on a daily basis, where Instagram is really easy. You snap a picture and it's out there and all of your followers see it. Maybe eventually we'll expand on that, but you have to think about what's within your control and what works for you in the beginning. And that really helps you get the word out. And again, going back to, asking your friends and family, have them talk about whatever your endeavor is when they're out with their friends, at their work, at their offices, because that really, word of mouth really helps out a lot as well. And then finally, for me, I think the networking aspect has been the absolute most valuable. I will say, first and foremost, that's why I'm even on this call today. And I say you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable, because sometimes you just have to push yourself to do things that you may feel you're too busy to do. You may just, feel too tired to do. You just may not feel like doing it at all. And this is a perfect example, because my husband knew Sharon through a prior job that she had, and the two of them were talking. He connected me with her. I told her about the idea we had. She invited me to have lunch with her and Jillian, and it was a rainy day. It was one of those times any one of us could have canceled and said, what, let's do it another day. But I went and met with them, really enjoyed talking with them. And I feel like, Main Street has been, a support group for me as well, which is fantastic. And I just, don't think that it would have happened had we not, taken the time to have those conversations and get to know one another. You should also really try to attend events that are related to your industry. One of the, other things that I really tried to do was talk to anybody in sort of the, in this world. So, I connected with people at ARC, who then introduced me to people at RCM and some other services downtown. And I've developed this pipeline where I can both find internships, I have support in the job training area, and, just reaching out and getting the word out within the community. So again, get comfortable being uncomfortable, talk to everyone you can, talk to your friends, talk to your family. And then on top of that, ask similar business owners for their advice. People are willing to help, and you might be a competitor, but people want to help. I've talked to a lot of the small business owners here at the Wharf about things that I just didn't, know about, like, simple things like, well, what do I do with an hour employee, when they take a break? How long is that break? Do you have them on the clock? Do you provide them lunch? Questions that I had never had come across in a job before, and everybody's been incredibly helpful. So you do want to make sure that you are connecting with people and asking questions. You'll find that people are very, very happy to have those conversations. And so, again, I think that, everything that Jillian said and, all of the examples she gave, across the board, I think no matter what you're doing, you can implement them in whatever project you have. So that is, sort of my village and how we got to the place where we are. And Sharon has put up a little bit more information about Twisted at the Wharf. We are just, because of COVID-19, we are just open on the weekends right now. So if you happen to be down at the Wharf on the weekend, we would love to see you. Please come by. We're located at 1162 Main Avenue, which, if you're familiar with the area, is near the fish market at one end. And then I would love to have you all follow us on Instagram. Check out our website. We are trying to, post things on a somewhat regular basis, so you'll see what's going on down there, and would love to connect with you that way as well. So again, thank you.
That was amazing. Thank you so very much. And just as I always say, you'll get all this information afterwards, so we'll send that to you. But I'm really excited because there's a lot of good information that we just heard, and now we have a great opportunity for us to chat. And now is a time that I think some of these examples, you might be able to relate to, and some weren't exactly, but this is your time to think about your idea, your project, your business, and think about questions you might have, or just a conversation you'd like to start. And I haven't been privy to the chat. I do notice there seems to be a lot going on there.
There are questions
Great.
that Amy, maybe you'll answer for everybody before everybody has a chance to unmute. Well, there are two, and I have a question that I think is important, or something we should talk about. One, are job coaches included? And maybe Amy, you can speak to that a little, since you might be having that down at Twisted. Bookkeepers, someone asked, what is a bookkeeper? So that's a good one. And then I also just wanted to mention the word pro bono, which is like kind of a tricky word sometimes. And that word means basically for free. So if you can get work pro bono done, especially attorneys tend to use, they like the fancier words. If you can have your Lisa or your attorney, whoever you're using, do stuff pro bono, that means they're not going to charge you, which is fantastic. So Amy, I'll let you answer the bookkeeper and the our job coaches included.
Yeah, so with the job coaching, that is really going to be for us on an individual basis. The interns that we are currently working with have come through ARC, which is a nonprofit downtown. They don't come to work with them on a daily basis, but they are meeting with them regularly, having phone conversations. As a matter of fact, I had a conversation with the employment specialist with ARC earlier today about one of our interns in sort of the plan that we have going forward for him. So to that extent, yes, there are job coaches involved. So I think does that answer the question that was being asked? And then as far as a bookkeeper, so a bookkeeper is somebody who handles all of our accounting. So basically we have to keep track of all of the money that we spend on the food that it takes to make all of our menu items. We have to keep track of the salaries that we're paying the individuals, things like rent and utilities and taxes and all of the things that go into, the expenses of operating a business. And there are specific guidelines that you have to follow through, both the government and through the IRS. And you have to keep specific documents, such as, a balance sheet, which tells you how much you're making versus how much you're spending. And so the bookkeeper actually keeps track of all that on a daily and monthly basis, so that we always know exactly what we're spending. We always know exactly what we owe. We're making sure that we are staying legal by paying all of our taxes on time. And it's a really great way to help stay organized. People who enjoy working with numbers and who maybe have some accounting experience potentially can do that on their own, but we felt like that was an area where we needed a little bit of additional assistance.
Amy, I do thank you for answering that, and I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just want to make sure before this chat moves along. Steph, I see you have a question. I'm happy to have you ask it yourself, or I can ask it for you if you'd like. I feel like we always have everyone on mute, so I would love to give you an opportunity to speak in your own voice. But I'll go ahead. Oh, go ahead. Great.
Yes, I was just asking because you mentioned inexpensive. You had someone that you talked to about developing a rather inexpensive website. Mm-hmm. If you had specifics or recommendations.
Yes, so actually this is in the notes from the first session. If you were all participated in that, we can add it here as well. There's a website called upwork.com where basically it's people who are looking for contract type jobs, whether it's, you know, building a website or, you know, it's all surrounding technology, and they post their profiles and their areas of expertise. And then me, as, you know, the employer or the person who's looking to have somebody help them with that, I was able to go through the profiles. You know, I could conduct a search where I could put in the criteria that I was looking for. And then I was able to do phone interviews, and I identified somebody who actually lives in Arizona with his family, and we worked remotely. And I was really happy because he had, you know, an inexpensive hourly rate. And that's how I ended up finding him, where I didn't need something super fancy. I mean, you can spend as much as you want on these types of things, but I was absolutely able to find somebody to stay within my budget who was able to provide exactly what we needed from a website perspective.
And you were able to find that out through Upwork, you're saying?
Upwork, yes, exactly. It's a really easy to use website where you just plug in, you know, sort of what your parameters are, and then they provide you a list with of qualified candidates that they think would be good for you to consider.
Okay, thank you.
And I would also say, I see a bunch of you are starting to follow us on Instagram right now, so thank you.
Thank you. If anyone else has a question, you can feel free to raise your hand and unmute yourself and ask it. Oh, I see Baruz. Why don't you go ahead?
For question, like you said that can Mainstream help you find a job in the future or no?
That's a great question, Baruz. I'll take that one. Main Street is an opportunity for us to connect people and build community, but we are not here to get you jobs or be a service provider like Seek or like another, if you have a job coach.
Yeah, oh, that's different.
Yeah, so it's different. Our opportunity is connecting you here and making friends and giving you opportunities to learn and giving you opportunities to build and grow relationships and give you information, but not to actually get you a job. The reason we have this session, just to be clear for everyone, is that we're trying to give you information. So if you wanted to do something on your own or learn more about how to do that, this is where you get started in learning that information.
I'll get that then.
Awesome, thank you. Anyone? Oh, I see Michelle looks like she's got a hand raised.
Hi.
Hi.
I have a question. I'm Michelle's mom.
Yeah.
My name is Mary. There is ideas that you can give it to us. What kind of jobs we can create it? Something like we're doing own business. What is the market for our kids?
Well, I think the question really is, what is the skill or product or service that you want to provide? It's not about your own son or daughter. It's about what you're providing and is there a market for that service or product? So think about if it's for Michelle and she has, a great skill in painting and she wants to sell her art, trying to find opportunities where that art might be well received and she could sell it in places. So it's based on your skill and what you want to do, not so much on the person.
What I saw in Michelle is like, she likes to help. And I was thinking to do something like for a business for her, like the vending machines.
Great.
But we are kind of lost. I mean, it's like, okay, we want to do that. How are we going to do it? How we can get the market to put where we're going to put these machines. That
couldn't be a better question for today's session, because the way to do that is to take the template that Jillian created and to think through every aspect of your community and ask that question. Do you know anybody? So think about where are vending machines? They're often in buildings. So who do you know that might be in commercial real estate or in residential real estate or in a management position where they know about who hires the vending machine companies, and then you start to ask those questions and kind of take that line. There's starting a business is you start with your idea, and then it's really just problem solving and answering questions and making sure that you're aligning your idea, your skills, what you're capable of, and then is there a need for that thing. And so really this is the exploratory stage for you to find out who you know in your world and who might know somebody in that world that might be able to help you get some of those answers.
And also, if I can just add on to that for you guys, and Mara, hey Mara, are you there? I can see you. Do you mind if I ask you a question and put you on the spot for a second? I know Michelle, maybe you can help with this too. So I think like what's important is if you have a job coach, and Michelle, I don't know if you and your family do or if other people do, but if you have a job coach and you're really interested in something, and Jonathan, I know you asked if we could talk to your job coach, and we don't really, that's not really our role, but I think you have to sit down with your job coach if you have one. If not, it's probably a good idea to get one, because they're really connected into businesses and opportunities for you guys. They're there to help you find a job and help you maintain that job and help you build skills so that you can do the job really well and that it's sustainable. That means you can do it over time. And so your job coaches are pretty critical in finding something for you that you are really good at, that you like to do, and finding that match for you, the person that needs you to do that. So I know Jonathan uses Seek, and I know John Bagaski's family use Seek, and there are other organizations out there that help you find jobs and have a job coach. So that might be like a good start for some of you. If you don't, Mara, would you mind? I know I sort of put you on deck a little bit, but, and I hope this, please, sorry. And I hope you don't mind, but if you would mind, how did you start your business? You're on mute. Do you mind unmuting? Are you unmuted?
I see in the chat, this speaks to person-centered planning from Mara. Let me see if I can unmute. Oh, there we go. Can you, Mara, do you want to try again?
Mara, maybe your volume needs to go up on your computer. Maybe that's what it is. I don't think we can hear you. So, bummer. We should have figured that out before.
Their microphone may not work, come back to them. So, and the other thing is, if you have an answer, Mara and Michelle, if you would be so kind as to email me after, I will include it in the follow-up.
Is there anybody who, Adrienne, I mean, you've worked in different places and had different jobs. You know, how do you find something that you love to do? Was your job coach helpful, and how would you suggest other people on this call do that?
I guess with determination, Determination. Always try to find different kinds of opportunities, find something that you're passionate about. Right. So I had worked in several theaters because I love theater. I got an opportunities in like Washington, D.C.
To do what?
So like I've been going to Capitol Hill a lot. So then I got a job for studying Hur's office.
Mm-hmm.
For 1 semester.
How did you know to go to Capitol Hill? Did your mom help you? Did your job coach help you? Obviously, you were interested in politics.
Yes.
Who helped you and said, hey, let's put your resume out to these senators or Congress people or in Capitol Hill? How did you know to do that?
So I went to George Mason University, and through them, they had a special internship.
Okay.
To Capitol Hill. I also had a special internship at the Kennedy Center called the EEI program.
And then how did you get your current job, the job that you're in right now? How did you get that job?
Well, I had a lot of, so I spoke in I had opportunities to speak, and anytime when I speak, I network. So I give them my business card. I knew people that had connections to the job I now have.
Good.
And that's how I got my job.
Right. Awesome. So did you guys hear that? Did everybody hear what he said? He made connections with people, right? You probably told them what you were interested in doing and they could see how smart you were by talking to them and the conversation you had. And maybe something that we missed along the line here, you gave them a what?
I give them the skills to.
No. What did you hand them?
I give them a business card.
Yeah.
So that is so super smart. He gave them a business card. Does everybody know what a business card is here? Yes? Everybody? Jonathan, if you don't have a business card, you tell your life coach, your person at Seek, you need to create a business card. You're on mute, but it should have your skill set on it. When you walk into a store and you see like, hey, it might be fun to work here, find the manager and give him your business card and say, guess what? I'm really reliable, or I'm helpful, or I'm friendly. Look at Mara's. She's holding up her business card. Mara, I have your business card sitting right on my counter over there. And how many of your paintings have I bought? A lot. And that business card sits right there when I need a gift for somebody. Sam's holding up his business card.
And I want to point out Mara's business card actually has pictures of her art on the back. So when you talk about your skills, it's a visual image of what she does and what her skills are. And by the way, any of you can make a business card. It's as you could, even if you wanted, you could make it on paper and cut it out. You don't even have to print it if you really didn't want to. It shows creativity. You could put something on there. And I'm just going to take a moment and just share a quick story with you. I told you guys that I had started a small business, actually a couple in my background. Vistaprint is a very inexpensive printing house to do. And we'll include that in our follow-up. Thank you so much, Mara. And also, I've talked about this, and all the slides that I make, I use on a free platform called Canva. So I will include Vistaprint, Canva, and Upwork in my follow-up. And then any of Mara, of her follow-up that we weren't able to hear, I will include that as well. But I just want to quickly tell you this story because I think this is important. And Michelle, this is actually back to your mother's question. And I want you all to hear this because it was a really eye-opening thing for me. When I had my business that was the baby planning business, I went to hear someone speak like at a big conference thing. And he told the story about when he was starting out his business and it was just him in his house, and he wanted to start a monthly club business where you ordered like cigars, at monthly, and every month you got, now it's very popular, but it was a newer idea back then. And you wanted every month you got like a new 5 cigars to try if you loved cigars. And he could not get the word out. And so he bought these super big, clown sunglasses that you can get on like Oriental Trading Company or some, even a dollar store maybe. And he packed up boxes with these big glasses, and he put a little sign on them that said, "Take a look at my idea." And he sent it to all of the radio stations in the area so that they could open this box and see a sample of his idea and tell people about it and think about how creative it was. It was completely just a fun, silly way to get someone's attention, to share your idea so that they would understand what skill you have or what business you have and how you want to get it up. So, and then I took that, so I tried to figure out how I could take that the same way we give you information. I took that and said, well, what can I do? So I have a baby planning, baby event business. So I got these plastic microphones and I got these shiny silver folders, and I put information about my business, and I went to this trade show, which is kind of like a big fair for all baby-centered businesses. And I hung the microphone, I attached it with fishing wire on my folder, and I put "your message amplified," which means, because a microphone like makes things louder. And I wanted people to see that if they worked with us, their baby product would be shared with our community of interested, parents, and that I could be able to be the person to help them do that. And I handed that folder out, and then I followed up afterward. And that's another important thing here with your village. As Jillian said, you need to use your village, and Amy said you need to use your village and you need to thank them, but you need to follow up with them. If they're doing you a favor, you need to remember to, you know, stay on them and make it easy for them to help you. So I followed up with all of them, and every single person, whether they liked me or not, or whether they did anything for me or not, they all remembered me because of my folder. And so that is another way for you to think about using your village. Be creative, whatever your skill is, however you want to get the word out. So if you want to, with vending machines, and you go through all of the suggestions we just had, maybe you get, you know, a bag of chips or a granola bar or something. Don't spend too much money, or, you know, go crazy with it, but like, deliver something to someone to kind of tell them what you're looking for and ask if they can help connect you. So you just sometimes have to be creative and think outside the box too. So I didn't mean to take too long with that. But I did want to kind of share that you don't have to feel that you have to be limited to, you know, the traditional things. Also, you be yourself and show your true colors in whatever it is that you're trying to get the message across that you want more information about. Any questions or other things anyone wants to say? Oh, Sam. Oh, Sam, I think you just put yourself on mute. Oh, that's a great one. Sam, can you unmute yourself? I think there you go. Did you want to share something, Sam?
So I'm an artist. I want to know like the best way to get do business cards or do some sort of business kind of thing. And I've worked at Vizarts, but it's closed because of COVID right now.
Not to put you on the spot, Mara, but maybe that would be maybe
Me and Mara are friends, by the way.
Oh, great. Well, this is what Amy and Jillian were talking about. Use your friends. So maybe you guys could just have a real targeted conversation about how to get started and what that business might look like, or even really understand kind of, you know, Jillian was saying at the beginning, everybody knows Main Street. We're all here because of Main Street, but you might not know how she really got started. And it might be nice, you and Mara can talk a little bit, if you're okay with it, Mara, about, you know, how you kind of got started. Okay, so I see a lot of things in the chat. I just want to I'm sorry, did that answer your question, Sam?
Yes.
Awesome. I just wanted to say that I do notice a comment from Nancy and Adrienne about advocating for yourself. And I think that is a real, thank you, Adriana. Sorry, both of your names are on there, so I didn't want to not include somebody. About advocating for yourself. Did you want to expand upon that?
Okay.
So yes. So as I mentioned, that I went to Capitol Hill through George Mason University. I started working there through George Mason for one semester. Then we had like a brunch kind of thing, like a celebration in the end of the semester. Then I went to the staff member of Sandy Hoyle, and from that, I got an upper semester because I advocated for that.
Sorry, I had some background noise. So you're saying that because you went and asked for the, one second, I'm sorry.
Can I ask a quick question related to that?
Yes.
So I'm curious because I know several people who want to work on the Hill right now, virtually, and like have internships this summer. So I'm curious how you think they should go about finding out about internships on the Hill. But also I wanted to find out, is what you're saying that you first had an internship through your university and that's how you got in? Because that's how a lot of government and politicians get their help, is through internships, but it's getting the internships sometimes is tough too. So your school had like a set internship, or did you have to get that internship on your own?
It was a set program.
It was a set program through the Amazing Life program.
Do you have advice for people who want internships on the Hill? Is there like a white paper or something? When I was younger in my 20s, I remember there was some sort of way to find internships on Capitol Hill. Do you know where people could look who want internships on Capitol Hill?
I guess there are some internet platforms people could use.
Yeah, each of them, both the House and the Senate have job boards. You know, if you just Google, you know, U.S. Senate employment opportunities or.
So I did that and I got nothing because it said during COVID there's nothing, but I know.
That's the problem.
Yeah, but I know some places are doing Zoom internships. So do you think I should just contact each individual? I mean, I know this isn't entrepreneurship, but it's about networking. And so like you guys are a community. And so I'm just curious and I can chat offline with you about it. But
yeah, you can do offline because I mean, I work in a career center. So we're working around internships a lot right now. And many of them are virtual.
Great. So can you put your email in the chat if you don't mind?
Yeah, 99% of them are virtual. You know, a lot of people fell through, a lot of students fell through. So it's very common right now for people to be really at wit's end about trying to find an opportunity.
Guys, I think John Bagaski had a really good idea, and that's that we could maybe do a session on job support, job coaching, how to find employment, and that if you aren't an entrepreneur but you're on this just to learn, which is awesome, yay for you. If you don't want to be an entrepreneur or you don't think it's going to be lucrative, meaning you're not going to be able to make a living from what you are going to your product or your service, and you think that you might have an opportunity to have a job coach, or you have a job coach, some of you do, but maybe it's really not working for you, maybe we can target some sessions towards that. Would you guys show a hand who'd be interested in that? Yeah. Okay, so I think that we will talk after this, but maybe we could, and then Katie, what we could come up with, and for some of you, is find ways, you know, opportunities where there are internships and other opportunities, resources to help you do that. We could definitely work through that, and maybe John will give us a little help with that. I'm already volunteering him because he's good at this stuff. Yeah, 2 thumbs up. He's gonna be our speaker.
He knows about.
There you go. See, all these sessions just open up new opportunities to learn new things.
This is what this is about, guys. It's, you know, helping you find your skill set and meeting your needs. So, you know, we're happy to, you know, do that for you. And maybe we can, beyond the e-project, try to create a different workshop or a series or something that can help you. Jonathan, did you have something to say? I think
you can also talk to your job coach at Seek and see if one of the staff has like internships or something.
Yeah, and like Sam just posted, you guys, he has a job at Dawson's Market. You know, Dawson's has been really busy lately. It is a place that has been hiring during COVID. Some of these supermarkets need additional help. If you're a driver, it's a good time to be a driver delivery person. So there are lots of things out there. It's just a matter of finding them, which isn't easy to do. So Sharon, I'm gonna let you close this baby up because I'm worried about time.
Yeah, this was really nice. And I have to say, it was really nice that we had a good opportunity to really have some dialogue and to be able to see, you know, what you're interested also in learning more about, which leads me to our poll that we have to put out. And before we do our poll, Jillian, would you be willing, if we give a thumbs up, to do just a nice photo op? You guys up for that? Maybe we'll do like, I mean, the thumbs up is getting old. I can't come up with anything more creative, but oh yeah, let's just do like a silly one. Let's just do some, there we go. All right, I'm sure I'll regret that.
Yeah, I know.
We got our photo. I'm going to launch my poll. And while I have my poll going, I am going to tell you about what is coming up at Main Street, which of course I do not have in front of me. So I'm going to be winging it. And I'm going to let you know that now today is Tuesday, which means I think tomorrow we have a sports
Actually, tomorrow, you know, I just did this on the Move with Kim, so I can help you out here a little bit.
God, okay.
Tomorrow, I know it's so hard when it's not in front of you. I totally get it. So tomorrow is Wednesday, and the sports actually is a Thursday thing. But tomorrow, oh my God, I'm spacing on tomorrow now that I just said that. Tomorrow is travel with Bridget Freed, and we are going to Havasupai. Does anybody know where that is?
No.
Okay.
No, I have no idea.
So I'm not going to tell you, but I will give you
Aw.
one hint that it is in the United States. So if you want to learn about it, you have to join us tomorrow at 4:30. It's travel and adventure with Bridget. It's going to be kick-ass. You're going to like it. So you should come. That's Wednesday. Thursday, we have baking with Sharon, her chocolate chip cookies, which are going to be amazing. We also have in the morning. Yummy, right, Michelle? At 11 o'clock in the morning, we have a culture series, which we're visiting a museum in Baltimore, and it's supposed to be super fun. And then Thursday later after Bake with Sharon, we have a sports talk. So it's a club. So if you want, and it's a brainstorming session of what we want to do with the sports club. So my son Ethan is going to be in there, and he's a sports maniac. So for those of you who are interested, join him. And then Friday, of course, we have Space for Belonging. We have yoga, and Friday night we have a beer tasting. So if you're a beer drinker, bring it on. If you're not, John is, Nicole is, I am. If you are fabulous, join us. I think we have like 40 to 50 people joining that night. It's going to be super fun. And I think Sunday's game day. So join us for super fun stuff. Sharon, I'm going to let you take it from here.
Awesome. All right. I see that we have not quite hit 100% in our poll. So if you have not participated, this is my last ask for you to just give us a quick poll. We really, really want to make sure that we are meeting your needs and hearing what you have to say. So thank you so much. I see a few more going in. Jillian gave the awesome recap. I will send you the follow-up if you have follow-up questions. I know that Mara, I didn't come back to you, and I'm sorry about that, but I see that you did put some stuff in the chat. I'm going to save this chat and I'm going to put as much as I can in the recap. And then I think you also might have emailed me something. So I'll make sure to include as much as I can in that. So I think that is everything. We are literally at 6 o'clock. We rocked it with our time and with our awesome information. Amy, you're amazing. Please visit the Wharf and visit Twisted at the Wharf on the weekends. I have been dying to get there myself, actually, and I really plan to get there sometime very soon. And I know it's going to be awesome. So without further ado, I'll say see you next week. It's going to be our plan of attack, not plan of attack, we've already done that. It's going to be taking flight. So we're going to be learning how to test and pilot your idea. So now we talked about using your village, and then we're going to be talking about testing it out. So thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful, wonderful week.
Thanks, Amy.
Take care. Bye.
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 Uh-oh. Something's wrong. Please try again.